During the last few weeks, years of preparation, design, testing and hard work have accumulated in this impressive sight. The 56-meter tall Ariane-6 rocket on its launch pad, all set to light up and soar to space for the first time. As Ariane-6 stands tall on its dedicated launch pad, Tony Tolker-Nielsen, acting director of space transportation, looks back at a successful campaign.
We started the inaugural flight campaign of Ariane-6 4 months ago. And a campaign like that, of a first flight, you do encounter quite a lot of anomalies. The team has proven very good in solving these anomalies with a focus on maintaining the schedule.
As the launcher itself was put through its paces over the last months, technicians were also getting the payloads, such as the re-entry capsules, ready for flight and putting them on the launcher adapter before placing them on top of Ariane-6. After the passengers were placed at the top of the rocket, technicians performed a wet dress rehearsal, whereby the rocket was filled with over 180 tons of supercooled propellant, well below minus 250 degrees Celsius.
Now that we have done the wet dress rehearsal successfully, we are ready for launch on the 9th of July.
This is, of course, the moment which teams from ESA, France's space agency CNES, and rocket designer and manufacturer Ariane Group have been working towards tirelessly. They will finally see how Ariane-6's engines will be ignited, rumble, and then a roar as the rocket rises from the launch pad and soars towards space, taking less than 10 minutes to reach Earth's orbit and then onwards. Soon, the countdown will begin. Ariane-6 and the teams are on ground, ready for liftoff.
Hello y'all, welcome to a important day. This is Nexus Space C. Welcome to Ariane-6's inaugural flight after years of work. As I said, Ariane 5 is done. Say hello to Ariane-6. I'm excited to see this flight. This is a palpable flight. Let me get everything up for you. Ariane-6 is currently underway fueling. It'll be finished in about 51 minutes and 23 seconds from now. I'm your host from Nectar Spacey. I'll be doing the mission details and everything you need to know. Just give me a little bit to set everything up. I am very excited for this launch. Even though I'm lonely, it doesn't matter. All we're here for is the launch. Now let me get the... Yep. Let me get the T0 clock fixed. I'll have to update that, but that's close enough to the actual T0. Actually, yeah, I'll just do what I need to do. So, let's get on with the mission details. There won't be many, so we could just enjoy a good simulation. It will be very good. Today's launch is ESA's rideshare program. With the first launch of Ariane-6, it's its demo flight. The launch time for this is Tuesday, July 9th, 2024 at 2 p.m. CDT and 3 p.m. EDT and 12 p.m. PT. And Ariane-6 did delay because of a ground side issue, But Ariane-6 is go. This will be the first flight of Ariane-6 and the first launch from ELA-4 launch pad. This rocket is Ariane-62 with 2 boosters, hence the 6-2. Each boost, if we had an Ariane with 1 booster, it would be Ariane-61, Ariane booster with 2 boosters, Ariane-62, a booster with 3. You know what I mean? Yep. This is made by ESA. The payloads that I'll be launching is Space Case, GRB Beta, IST-SAT-1, 3-CAT-4, OOV Cube, Curium-1, NYX Bikini, Robusta 3-3A, Replicator, Curie A and B, non-payload, non-deployed experiments, Perisat, Peregrines, Liffey, Cedar Lock, YPSAT, and all of them are going to low Earth orbit. This will be launched from ELA Pad 4, Guyana Space Center, Centre, French Guiana, France. And so this will be the 130th launch of this year, the 50th mission overall for the European Space Agency, the first mission of 2024 for the European Space Agency, and the first mission of Ariane-6 ever. And this will be the first mission of Ariane-6 this year. Yeah, this is cool as crap. Let's get on with the simulations I really wanted to show y'all. They're very cool. Just a reminder, it has 4 boosters, not 2. So remember that. Alright. I love this so much. Let me just zoom it in. There we go. That looks cool. Alright. Well, let's do it. 10. Wait, I'll start from 15 because I needed to start before. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift off. Lift off. Vehicle roll. Safety sequences started. Onboard footage of Ariane-6 as it soars into space. There's our payload. I've tested this beforehand to see if it worked, and it works pretty well. Look at that, wow. The Vulcan engine is working good. Wow, what a beautiful launch so far. The simulation is a pretty good one. I've refined lots of things to make these much more better. Lots of our camera views some tweaks to make it more better, like adding, instead of the payloads being empty, adding payloads more realistic to the real mission. Anyways, yeah, my Vulcan engine shut down. Booster separation confirmed. This is what it would look like with all boosters strapped off. Everything looking phenomenal on board Ariane. We're going to get ready past the Kármán line. I didn't get to orbit. Sometimes I re-entered, so hopefully I've done it right, so we can get into space. I haven't gone this far up into space with Ariane, so hopefully everything goes right. Just have 20% more fuel left in the booster, or first stage, I could say. I'm gonna pitch over a little bit. And we're past the Kármán line. Ariane-6 is in space. Getting ready for stage separation. Just a couple seconds. Miko, stage separation confirmed. Engine ignition. Getting ready for fairing separation. Fairing separation confirmed. That's the first time I got it right. Let's go. Dang. This never happened to me when I simulated it. Everything's going well on the first stage. Everything's looking good. Everything looking nominal. Everything looking nominal on board Ariane. The Ariane second stage with the payload. Get ready for Seco. Seco. Get ready for payload separation. This faster in the mission after payload is deployed. And this is what's going to probably happen at the second stage. Oh wow, we still have the payload camera. He's out in the mission. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Jeez. Oh my gosh. I'll be back. Let's do this launch.
Normalement 15h15. Là, tu m'entends? Ils ont déjà commencé, là, ils sont en ligne. Ça va pas être facile.
Et Fred et Léo. Ah voilà. Non, non, c'est là, non.
Mais c'est...
Bon, voilà, écoutez, demande monsieur. Ouais, il dit où? Oui.
Bon, alors allez-y.
Tu vas bien? Je pensais pas te voir ici.
Je suis là.
Pardon, excusez-moi.
Avec qui?
Merci.
Parce qu'on va retrouver quelqu'un, pardon, excuse-moi. C'est bon?
Qu'est-ce que t'as pas? En fait, on fait comment?
Eh ben, non, on rend service si on peut. Non, non, parce que c'est vrai que moi je sais qu'on a voulu réserver la salle gros détail, moi je peux pas. Ils sont pas sur site, je peux pas. On peut envoyer le jingle?
Il n'y a pas de jingle pour demander aux gens de s'asseoir?
commencer pas trop tard. Avec plaisir. On va commencer un petit mot d'accueil pendant que les dernières personnes se placent dans la salle. Mesdames et messieurs les ministres, messieurs les parlementaires, monsieur le président de la CTG, mesdames et messieurs les élus, messieurs les officiers généraux, monsieur le recteur, chers collègues, chers amis, je vous accueille très rapidement en quelques mots au CSG et en français. So it's a French, it's a welcome in French, but Joseph will do it even better in English in few seconds. Just to give you an overview, juste pour vous donner un avant-goût de ce qui va se passer pendant ces quelques heures, je vais faire donc une très brève présentation. Alors le lanceur va emporter 8 CubeSats, 2 capsules et 4 expériences scientifiques. La masse totale, c'est 2,6 tonnes qui vont arriver, et le but du jeu, c'est l'orbite visée qui va être à 580 km d'altitude avec une inclinaison de 62 degrés. C'est évidemment le premier vol d'Ariane-6. On est tous évidemment particulièrement à la fois enthousiastes et en même temps avec cette petite tension qui règne dans l'air parce que c'est un premier vol. On aura 3 allumages du moteur de l'étage supérieur qui seront réalisés pendant le vol. Les 2 premiers pour atteindre l'orbite, et puis le dernier de quelques secondes pour désorbiter l'étage supérieur. Le total de la mission, ça va durer 2h45, en tenant compte de la passivation, c'est-à-dire la rentrée du dernier étage. On va avoir un réseau de stations au sol qui est réparti partout dans le monde et qui va nous permettre de suivre ce qui se passe exactement. Alors on a quelques coups, il y aura quelques minutes pendant lesquelles à chaque fois on n'aura pas les nouvelles immédiatement de ce qui se passe sur le lanceur, mais voilà, c'est justement des moments qui ne sont pas des moments critiques. Juste peut-être pour vous donner un avant-goût très rapide. Phase de lancement, on va commencer 7 secondes avant le lancement. Vous allez aller voir le Vulcain qui va s'allumer. À H0, au moment du lancement, vous avez 2 boosters qui vont partir et donc c'est le lancement. 2 minutes 5 secondes plus tard, séparation des boosters. Et après après, un peu plus d'une minute après, séparation de la coiffe, le lanceur sera donc hors atmosphère, et on aura à 7 minutes le premier allumage du moteur Vinci avec un boost de mise en orbite. Un petit peu après, on va avoir des séquences qui vont nous permettre d'arriver jusqu'au deuxième allumage du Vinci à 56 minutes. Et puis, après, on va larguer donc, les charges utiles. Et donc, à environ 1 h et 6 minutes, on aura terminé la phase de lancement à proprement parler. Et donc, ce sera un moment, voilà, c'est un moment qui est très très attendu et qui est un moment très fort. La dernière phase sera une phase de démonstration en orbite, une phase de démonstration technique en orbite où on va pousser au maximum le lanceur, avec évidemment aussi plus de risques, mais aussi plus de mesures de performance. Et tout ça se terminera à 2 h 40 par la passivation des troupes. Voilà, donc on va vivre un moment qui est un moment assez extraordinaire pour l'Europe spatiale. Je voudrais juste, pour terminer, remercier la Guyane, remercier aussi les forces armées de Guyane qui sont là et qui permettent de sécuriser le lancement. C'est un moment qui est important. On sait tous qu'on est dans un contexte où on a besoin de cette sécurité, on a besoin des forces qui sont autour de nous pour rendre ce moment le plus serein possible. Merci, merci à elle.
Thank you, Philippe, and a very warm welcome also from my side. I'm the Director General of the European Space Agency, Joseph Ashbacher, and I'm very happy and very proud to be here today at this moment of the maiden flight or inaugural flight of Ariane-6. It's a very special moment. It's a very special moment for all of us, not only in the space community, but also it's very important for future.
Welcome to Europe's spaceport and your front row seat to the launch of Ariane-6.
Le lanceur est juste derrière moi, sur son bâti, et sous la coiffe confortablement installée, les CubeSats et les capsules prêtes à décoller.
During the next few hours, we will introduce you to this unique rocket, and we will take a look behind the scenes and the teams that made this flight possible.
Et nous serons en direct avec vous, ici, au centre de contrôle Jupiter. Je suis Lise Pedersen.
I'm Tina Büchner da Costa.
Je suis Luce Fabreguet.
And I'm Katie Haswell, and we're all delighted to bring you the live coverage for the first launch of Ariane-6.
Operations running smoothly here at the European Spaceport in Amazonian French Guiana, where we're coming to you live as we prepare to turn the next page in space history. Europe's newest rocket, Ariane-6, is on its newly built pad preparing for its first journey into space. We have a stack of passengers on board from experiments and CubeSats. They're up there in the fairing to re-entry capsules waiting to lift off in half an hour. The countdown on the top right-hand side of your screen there. And over in mission control, which is about 15 kilometres from the pad, the nerve centre of operations, the teams inside what we call the fishbowl, that protective glass, are going through the final preparations before launch. Right now the boards are all green. That's a good sign. We are go for launch. I'm in the commentary box here with Tina Büchner da Costa. Tina is a launch systems engineer from the European Space Agency. And in the French commentary box, we've got Lisa Peterson and Luce Fabreguet. Tina, it's great to have you with us. You've been helping to design and test the system, so this is a really big day for you.
Absolutely, Katie. I am so thrilled to be here with you today, and I still can't believe that today is really the day we have all been waiting for. My rocket engineer heart is pumping loads of adrenaline in my system right now, and I can tell you that I share this incredible excitement with all my colleagues who have been working so hard to prepare this moment. It is a great honor to be their voice today, so I really want to shout out a big hello to everyone who worked on Ariane-6 here in Guyana, back in Europe, in the factories and in your homes. This day is your day.
It is indeed, and it's going to take about 3 hours to deliver all our satellites. So just run through what's going to happen, Tina.
Yeah, so earlier today, the mobile gantry, that is the building for the preparation of the rocket, was rolled back, and now Ariane-6 is standing under the Guyanese sky. On top, hidden under the fairing, are the passengers of today's launch. And coming up very shortly is the final countdown. So we will ignite the main engine, followed by this, the opening of the fueling arms. So the yellow ones you see here opening. And just after we're igniting the 2 boosters, we are flying an A62 version with 2 boosters today. We will be heading out northeast on today's trajectory. And once ignited, the boosters provide over 80% of the thrust. And after only 2 minutes, they have sent the rocket to about 60 kilometers of altitude using almost 300 tons of fuel. We see here the boosters are separated, and 1.5 minutes later, the rocket is outside of the atmosphere and the fairing that protected the satellites is ejected. Then the main engine cuts off after about 7 minutes into the flight, and the first stage separates, leaving the upper stage on its own. The first ignition takes the rocket to orbit, and after what we call a coasting phase, where we're just doing half a lap around the Earth, there is a second boost, and this will bring Ariane-6 to a circular orbit where our CubeSats will finally be released. So this is a very important moment in today's mission. Here coming up is the CubeSat release in the circular orbit. After that, we will go into a demonstration phase after another very long coasting phase. And this coasting phase is also a crucial part of our mission today, where we prove the novelties of Ariane-6. And at the end of this, the upper stage will flip in space and restart the Vinci engine to brake and set itself on a collision course with Earth, burning up in our atmosphere and limiting space debris. But before it touches atmosphere, 2 capsules are set to detach and head on their own mission to survive the extreme temperatures of the re-entry. And all 3 elements will then splash down in the Pacific Ocean, far away from civilization. This will end our mission.
So that's what's coming up, and here we are now on the pad. Ariane-6. So far, all the tests on Europe's new rocket have been done on the ground, but today it's set to prove itself in space.
Indeed. Today is a major step towards the qualification of Ariane-6. With inaugural flight today, the rocket will experience really for the first time its real conditions in space. This is especially true for the upper stage and all the ballistic phase, because there's only so much that you can actually test on Earth.
Indeed, and you and the teams have been practicing with a test model of Ariane-6. So I wonder how it feels, Tina, to actually have the real thing on the pad today.
Well, you hear my voice vibrating for a reason. It's super exciting, but on the one hand, it somehow feels like a déjà vu, because we have indeed done quite a lot of thorough testing, and we repeat today what we already did several times. We have tested all the systems, and we have, of course, tested the engines on the ground. But this time, when we ignite the boosters, we will have to let our baby go. And I can tell you the concentration and tension among all the teams is quite intense right now.
And Ariane-6 has been designed to carry all kinds of different spacecraft. And of course, the satellites are continually evolving, so versatility has to be the key. What's new on board?
The main change is that Ariane-6 has a reignitable cryogenic upper stage that can switch on and off with the help of another brand new feature, which we call the APU. We will introduce that later. Ariane-6 was built to be modular and flexible, and we can reach several destinations in one flight. It's a bit like a bus that allows its passengers to get out at different stops on request. And today we also have a lot of different passengers on board the bus, and they need to go to different destinations, so we will test that.
Organisations across Europe have come together to build Ariane-6 and guarantee Europe's continued access to space. Let's find out more now about our new rocket, Ariane-6.
Welcome to l'Emuro facility, where we integrate the Vulcan 2.1 engine on the main cryogenic stage. Here in l'Emuro, we assemble and test the complete lower liquid propulsion module. When the complete module is assembled, we test it, we control it, and then we can ship it to Kourou.
Ariane Group and ESA opted for a very polyvalent, adaptable design for Ariane-6. No compromise on performance and a much broader range of missions.
Ariane-6 is essential for Europe because Ariane-6 guarantees Europe's access to space. And this is what we need, because we depend on space every day in our daily life, from navigation to weather forecasts, to connectivity, to agriculture, energy, transport. All of these segments depend on space. That means satellites that we have to bring to space, and that's why we need Ariane-6.
In the conception of the Ariane-6 launch system, ESA played an important role for steering the operational concept of Ariane-6 in a way that reduced drastically the operational cost. This translates in a number of technical choices: horizontal integration of the central core, disconnection of cryogenic arms at the time of the liftoff, brand new concept, very different from the one of Ariane 5.
If you look at the shape, Ariane 5 and Ariane 6 are quite similar. We have a main body, so 5.4 meters. We have strap-on booster. But we have One main difference is the fact that Ariane 6, we have modularity, meaning that we can use 2 or 4 solid rocket boosters.
The upper stage of Ariane 6 is powered by the Vinci engine, capable of 3 reignitions, and is perfectly fitted for deployment of large constellations, execution of complex missions or of ride-sharing.
Une autre innovation de l'ensemble de lancement, c'est le portique mobile, ou plutôt son gigantisme. Il faut avoir des ordres de grandeur à l'esprit. Il est aussi haut que le premier étage de la Tour Eiffel. Il pèse plus lourd que la Tour Eiffel et nous devons être en capacité de le déplacer sur une longueur qui fait à peu près 140 mètres en moins de 20 minutes.
The Ariane 6 launch system is designed for a launch every 2 weeks, enabling us to target up to 11 launches per year.
Ariane 6 will ensure that Europe is on the forefront, continuing the legacy of the Ariane family.
This maiden flight will be the culmination of all this intense work across Europe, and we're looking forward to it. So go Ariane 6, go!
Well, a rocket is nothing without its launch pad, and we've built a whole new launch system for Ariane 6, which really is a massive feat of engineering. But Tina, what do we actually mean by launch system?
So the launch system, Katie, for which ESA is responsible, is actually the combination of the rocket itself and its launch pad. The launcher design and production was the responsibility of Ariane Group and its industrial partners, and the launch pad is designed and built by the French agency CNES and partners, and is significantly different actually from Ariane 5. It has less buildings, less means, and that allows simplified operations and a shorter launch campaign. And the impressive construction, and we will see a bit more in a second, means was done protecting actually fauna and flora here in Guyane.
And we're looking here now at a movie to show some of the stages. What happened? What are its main features?
So everything started with earthworks and excavation of this 28-meter deep hole. This is where the launch pad now has its flame exhaust ducts. And here we see the start of the rail work for the mobile gantry, so this colossal Eiffel Tower on rails. The building that is used to actually access all the platforms. And you remember, Katie, we've been in there.
Yeah, very impressive.
Several floors. Here we see the steel structure actually being built in a time lapse. And on the left side of the movie here, you see the water tower that is actually used to damp the noise at liftoff. And on the right side, you see the exhaust flame ducts for the boosters. Huge concrete structures, actually.
That's where all the flames of the fire comes out.
Yeah. This here is the assembly building for the 2 stages. Now we do that in horizontal integration, which reduces the cost. And here we see some pictures of the installations for the propellant storage, handling and transfer. There are thousands of components and valves, and actually a lot more than what we see here is underground. Quite impressive galleries.
Quite a labyrinth under there.
We have a look here at the water pool, which is equipped with the spark igniters. And this is where we burn the hydrogen from the line's cooling process or when it evaporates during filling operations. And here we have a quick look at the water system test. And the water is actually being recycled after every launch. And to finish, we see a mock-up that was used to train putting the rocket in vertical position. And finally, the cherry on the cake for the launch system was the long firing test we did last year in November, where we qualified the main stage flight.
The hot fire test, as it's known. So we have a number of passengers on board the bus today, sharing their ride. All spacecraft, of course. We don't have any people on board. The biggest one is about the size maybe of a satellite dish, and the smallest one is the size of a little box of matches that you could fit in your pocket. We have satellites from commercial companies, space agencies and universities, and they range from established players like NASA to students designing their first ever satellite. And most of them, well, they're testing their technologies, aren't they, to check that they actually work in space, right, Tina?
Yeah, we do have lots of different fascinating small spacecraft on board indeed. Some are detecting gamma ray bursts, so the most powerful explosions in the universe. Some are tracking wildlife. We have one checking which materials actually work best to get rid of heat in space. And one is testing a technology for a kind of a Wi-Fi in space, but using light instead of radio waves. And of course we have two who will return to Earth, so 2 re-entry capsules.
Some really interesting stuff on board there. And we'll be finding out more about them later, of course. But before launch, all eyes are on these status panels. The green panels, that's a good sign, the fact that they are all green. They're showing us the go, no-go status across the base, a little bit like traffic lights. They all need to be green for a launch to go ahead.
Indeed. So what we're looking for are actually 3 main systems. And these panels are showing us the health of those systems. There's the launcher with its ground systems. Maybe it's not very visible on the screen. So we call it the ensemble de lancement and the lanceur. It's on the right side of the panels. Not sure visible for everyone. The second one is actually the satellite, so the so-called payload stack. And then there's a third group. Indeed, this was my home the past month.
You've been there this morning?
Yeah, so this is where we actually get the launch pad and the launcher ready for liftoff. There are 2 teams working here in very close interaction. This is the team doing the actual operations. So these guys are having their hands on the rocket and on the pad, opening the valves, sending in the fuel, switching systems on and off. And next to this room, there's the room for the design authorities, as we call them. So the people who designed the system. Here we have them. This is where I would be sitting. So they see each other and they're separated only by a glass wall. During operations, the designers monitor what is happening in the systems in real time, checking temperatures, pressures, currents, and they see immediately when something looks a little bit unusual or when things go slightly off track. And then they meet and troubleshoot in real time. So this is here what we call on site the base avant. And they are supported by engineers who actually have the exact same information than we have here in French Guiana, back in Paris, close to Paris. Here they are in Space Code. So all of them belong to the design team in Ariane Group, and they are actually the support office base arrière. It means we can engage more brains to solve trouble if we have some.
The more brains, the better. I wonder how it feels to sit in there, Tina.
It's an absolute dream job.
Right, we have the last weather check coming up. There's our rocket, Ariane-6, standing tall on the pad. We are actually on the Amazonian coast of French Guiana in South America. It's hot, it's humid, it's been raining all morning. The operational teams, they can control a lot of things, can't they, Tina? But not the weather. We're in the lap of the gods.
That is true. We can't control the weather, but we can monitor it. And that's actually very important. Weather conditions must be right for the launch to go ahead. So we always have our eyes on the weather.
And is rain a problem?
Well, it is a problem only for the photographers, not for the rocket. It's not made of sugar.
Well, that's a good job. As I said, it's been raining this morning, otherwise it would have melted. But
exactly. But there are actually a lot of other things that